And that's when it counted. So we got on the plane and we left for the Olympics about a month early. Now remember I told you about Diane. She was the setter that came and joined us 8 months before the Olympics. So we'd had our starting lineup together for about 3 years. And so we're going off to the Olympics and I'm the starting setter, right? And it's all good and that'd be a great end to my story. It's not quite over yet. We get to the Olympics and as I said, it's about a month left, right? So we're training and we have a meeting after one of our training sessions and the coach had made a decision. He said, girls, I don't think we can compete at the Olympic Games with a setter who's only 5'6" tall. So I would be sitting and she would be playing. He'd never told me before this team meeting that this was his plan. I was blown away and I went back to my room and it took me about 2 hours not to punch a hole in the wall. Generally not recommended for a setter when your hands are really what you use. But I felt like it. You know what? I felt like with everything in me, I wanted to fly home for about 2 hours. I'd had it. I was, you know what? After all that extra time, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that 5'6" really makes that much of a difference? And then I calmed down a little and took a little more time. And then I remembered something. It wasn't about me. I was on a team. What have I been thinking? It's not about me. Never mind. I'm at the Olympic Games. Really, I'm going to be at the Olympic Games and be bitter. No way. No way. So I decided something that day. And I did say it to myself out loud, but I want you to know I don't talk to myself a lot. But I looked myself in the mirror and I said, well then, you'll have to be the best bench player in the whole world. Okay? As the role I was given, I would be the best at it. How do you do that? Well, we had about 3 more weeks to train. And when you're not the starting setter or on the starting lineup, you're on the second side. And your job is to make that starting lineup as good as it can be, right? So the harder I would work, the better she would get. So I did that, and it was great. We got to the site of the Olympic Games, and we went through accreditation and everything. And you know when you arrive at the Olympics, you're really quite famous. For about 2 weeks, you're really quite famous. And they give you lots of free stuff. And it's kind of ironic that when you go into the food tent, which is about 5 times bigger than this room, there's free food everywhere, including McDonald's. 24 hours a day, you could just walk up and get a Big Mac. Of course, our coach didn't let us, but when we were done, we went to town. Yeah, I tell kids that, eh? There's motivation to train for the Olympics or whatever. Anyway, it was filled with memories. You guys, there was famous people there, you know? We're in the food court. I think that's why that was my favorite place, you know? Because everyone has to eat. Ha! Newsflash, even the fastest people in the world eat meat, potatoes. I don't know. They do. They really do. It was great for me to see that. You know, even Bill Clinton came through the thing. Now, I stayed out far away, but he came. Just to be sure. But he came through to see us. You know, like people like that. Like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger came and premiered his movie, Eraser, with Vanessa Williams. Like, he could have just shown us the movie, but he actually decided to come himself. He walked about 2 feet in front of me, and he's not that big, guys. Don't worry. He really isn't. They make him look bigger in the movies. Hootie and the Blowfish came and did a concert for us. It was really neat. The best U.S. gymnasts, I got their autographs. I got pictures of athletes and autographs. I was not too cool to realize that I would probably never be at the Olympic Games again, at least not as an athlete. I was surrounded by the best in the world. As I said, I have many memories. I will share my very best memory with you of the Olympic Games. And it was when we played our first match. We warmed up in the Omni Coliseum. It sat 25,000 people. There weren't 25,000 people there, maybe 10. But this gym was huge. I'd never played in a gym like that. And we warmed up, and as they do at the Olympics, it's all about pomp and circumstance. So they line you up in your tracksuits, out in the side, in the corner. And they line you up according to height, by the way. So the short people get to run in first. Anyway, so I'm standing there, and we're playing Cuba. Okay, just a tiny background. Cuba's In 1996, best volleyball, women's volleyball team in the world for years. They won in 84, 88, 92, 96. They just won all the time. So we get to play them first. Lucky Canada, but whatever. So we're lining up, and we're going to play them, and a foot away from me are the 12 best volleyball players in the entire world. And I'm standing there looking at them and looking out at the court, and the Olympic music starts to play. And you know it when you hear it. And the announcer said, as long as I live, I don't know if I'll ever be able to say this without getting a little emotional, but the announcer said, and now the Olympic team from Canada. And then I got to run in. You know, when everyone that I thought knew everything about volleyball told me I'd never do it. They didn't say maybe. They didn't say you got a good chance, kid. They said you're not going to do it. We owe you something, but we don't owe you the Olympics. No, nobody owed me the Olympics. I had to go out and get them. And I ran into that game. And I'd like to remind you that I didn't play 1 minute. I sat on the bench by my coach, and I was so proud. So proud to be a part of a team, and so proud to wear the maple leaf on my back. Now, as the Olympics continued, we were doing bad. We were doing bad. We were losing. In the history, Canadian women's volleyball never won a game, the Olympics. Never, ever. Not a game. Never mind a match. Never a game. We're playing our third match against Russia. And the tallest girl on the Russian team was 6'9". So my coach had a point. I was short. So we're down 8-1. And I'm taking notes, right? Good ones. And he put his hand on my knee and he said, we're down 8-1. Do you want to go in? And I knew I only had to play for him for about like 5 more days. So I looked at him and I gathered up quite a bit of nerve, you know, and I looked at him and I said, this is the Olympic Games. You don't think I want to go in? So he put me in and we came back, but it wasn't enough. We lost by 3 points. I played the rest of the tournament. We hadn't won a game. We're playing our last match. We're playing Peru. It's our chance to finish 9th if we beat them. I had the honor of having that maple leaf on and playing that entire match. And the final point of the match, in the best of 5, we went 5 games with them. And the power hitter hit the ball out way over my little hands. And we won. We made a little bit of history that day. I came down from that block and I took my knee pads off and I took my shoes off and I knew where I was. I was at the top of a mountain that I had climbed for years and I had made it. And the view was pretty nice. But it wasn't nice because we were lucky, and it wasn't nice because it was nice because we clawed our way up there. And I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. So I am here today with this message of motivation. And I know you'll probably never play volleyball, and that's okay. But what you do every day is just as or way more challenging than what I did. And every day you may have people telling you that you ain't gonna do it. And I can't tell you exactly how, but I can tell you that I can, because I've been there. And it happened for me. And I'm still 5'6". And I'm still from Steinbach, Manitoba. Thanks.